Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This week we're discussing Teresa's road trip coming up. Coming to you live from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida. You're watching The Trip. This is The Trip, episode 18 for the week of June 17th, 2015. The Trip is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation, whether it be theme parks on the West Coast, East Coast, or on the seas. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of The Trip, a little show about something we all love called vacation. I'm Jenny Lynn.
And I'm Teresa. And I'm having a moment.
Teresa's got the giggles
I
today.
got something going on today. I can't stop it. Might be medication. I don't know. And over helping us today, as always, is our amazing producer, Dustin West.
I really feel less than helpful in this moment.
No one can help me at this moment.
Beyond help.
I'm beyond help.
Yeah. So this week we're discussing your road trip coming up, Teresa.
Yeah, it's rapidly approaching.
Fast and furious.
A couple weeks away.
Yeah.
And I am nowhere where I want to be in the planning stage. Last road trip we took, I had most everything locked in at this point and ready to go. We have nothing locked in other than I have a van rented, and we know who the principal players are in this trip.
That's a start.
It's a start, but I wanted to, because it involves another family, my sister Brenda and her husband Keith, it's kind of, there's more discussion and more,
Okay.
It's on my list, it's not on your list, cross it off, I'm not doing that, I want to do that, I want to go this way, I want to go that way. And like I had said before, the destination of our road trip is to visit our parents and our family in Biggsville, Illinois. Population 350, yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. And we've always gone the most direct way, which is Orlando, Atlanta to Chattanooga to Paducah, weaving our way through the boring lower section of Illinois where the roads are rough and ending in Biggsville.
But you had wanted to do something different.
I want to do
this
something
year.
different. That is from Atlanta, that's a 12 to 14-hour trip. And we've always powered through and made it in one day. We didn't last year, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed going a different way, maybe taking a few days and having it be a little bit longer. And my sister's on board for that. But the way we're going has sparked a lively debate on whether it can be done or not. Mm-hmm. We have narrowed it down that we're going up through Mississippi.
Okay.
Which is bizarre. But we're going, first day one, I know, is the girls and I leaving Orlando and going to Atlanta. And that's where my sister lives. She lives just north of Atlanta in Houston, Georgia. Which was once owned by Kim Basinger, by the way. But anyway.
That's fascinating factoid.
Yeah, she once owned the city. But anyway, it's a small town. So that is day one.
Okay, are you going to be stopping anywhere
Along the way to get from there, it's a 7-hour drive from my house to my sister's. So at best, might be a little bit longer if we stop and things. We're just going straight up through Valdosta and through, up the middle of Georgia. And it'll pretty much be a drive to get there segment of the trip. Now, I was thinking today, if we get there early enough, we should, like Atlanta, I'd lived there for years. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. There's things to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of adding a little something, maybe late afternoon to do there. I don't know what.
Now, I think that would be a great idea because that's actually probably the one day in the trip that you can do what you want without having to worry about whether your sister agrees or not agrees.
Right. I've already, and I don't think she's going to watch this, but she thinks we're spending that first night at her house. I'm actually not. I'm whispering like she's in the other room. Because, okay, I like air conditioning. We know this, right?
Yes, I'm quite aware of it.
And
You're
my
a big
sister's
fan.
all about fresh air and lay there till you get quiet and still, and then you cool off. I got to have the, and Stella and I stayed in her house on the first leg of the trip last year, and we both laid there and just cried ourselves to sleep because we were so hot and there was no air, and it was like, so I think we're going to just find a nice hotel, nothing fancy, but just a nice, clean place to rest our heads, and so we can all get a good night's rest.
Yeah. Well, you need to be well rested if you're going to make that long of a trip.
So I think I'm gonna play it like, I'm gonna frame it like, you know what, we'll have quicker time to get ready in a hotel, and and then we can just meet somewhere and we'll move on. Now the second part of this, she wants to leave at 4 a.m. day 2. Because day 2, we're going from Atlanta to Vicksburg, Mississippi, which is 7 hours. Now, if we leave at 4 a.m., we'll get there mid-morning, and I think we're going back in time an hour. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So we'll get there in the morning and have time to do things in Vicksburg. Do you think 7 hours is too long to go in one? I don't think that's too long to drive. Do you,
Absolutely
Dustin?
not.
What do you think?
No, not necessarily. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go too many more hours over that. But here's the kicker. Once we leave Vicksburg, she wants to power on for another 4 hours and get to Memphis.
Okay,
in the
so
same
she's
day.
wanting to drive about 11 hours in one day.
Right. I want to go to Little Rock. Well, Little Rock, Arkansas, because I've never been. Don't know what's there other than
The capital.
the Capitol and, Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton, right.
Okay, so I'm okay with that. Memphis and Little Rock are both about 4 hours from Vicksburg. So I'm thinking that's doable. If we're going to do it, we can go either direction. The kicker is the following day. Day 3 is the day we have to get to Biggsville. From Memphis, it's 9.5, or from Memphis, it's 7 hours. From Little Rock, it's 9.5 hours. Because you've got to go from Little Rock over to Memphis and then up. So I don't know. Do I take Little Rock out? But I've already been to Memphis. I don't know.
That's a tough call.
Are you okay to? I mean, you've taken road trips.
Yeah. I'm more of a power through type person. So I would probably lean more in the direction of your sister. I don't know if that, am I going to get hit here? Is this the part where I get sideswiped?
Really? She's not here, so I'll smack you.
Take it out on JL.
Really? But get the wooden spoon. Where's that?
I don't
Hit you
know.
with the
I
frowny
mean,
face.
I love what you're saying about enjoying the journey on the way there. I just know that I tend to get very focused and excited about the end spot.
And I am too. I want to get there, and I want to see my family, and I want to be able to spend a good amount of time there.
Okay, so I just want to get this straight.
Okay.
If we stop where you want to stop, it would be in Little Rock.
Correct.
And if we stop where your sister wants to stop, it would be Memphis.
Correct.
And yours makes the longer trip.
On the next day, it
Right.
makes the same. It's the same amount on day 2, but day 3 becomes
So you get
The next day you'd be traveling 9.5 hours, you said?
probably.
I still think
and
that's a
just-
reasonable drive.
That's driving time, though. That's not stopping or looking at anything.
Yeah.
That's not stopping it, and getting
know.
rolls thrown at you at that
I
restaurant
think
where they
that's
throw
still
the bread.
doable. You're talking to the chick that drove for 11 hours straight like I.
right. Me
Just-
too.
So
So you think it's doable?
I
the
think
kids aren't
so.
little. They're not going to be crying. I can smack them if they start fussing.
you only live once. This might, you just
You think?
you
I
could
don't know.
go
I'm
do
kind
it.
of into ring. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
That's another episode. Yeah, no, I think that if it wasn't creating an unreasonable amount of time of driving the next day, then I would say maybe take it out. But 9.5 hours is completely doable. It's it's not going to be a cakewalk.
I mean,
because
because and the difference this year also is, last year we had a caravan. We had 2 cars. Was the 2 cars a caravan?
I guess you could call it that. I usually think of three's a crowd, three's a caravan. That's the
It's a
phrase.
caravan. Okay, so last year we took 2 vehicles, and we did this because I was coming from here, and she just followed us from Atlanta.
Got it.
And that she wanted her own vehicle when she got there because we don't share well when we get back with Mom and Dad. Because we have different friends, and her husband's from there too, so she's visiting his family too. And the one vehicle can't go in 2 directions.
Right.
So we took 2. Well, this year we've changed it up a bit. We are just taking the one van, and she has gone to Hertz and in Atlanta and added herself on as a second driver to my van.
Okay.
So we'll be just taking one van up. But when she gets there, she's going to rent a small car just for the few days.
Perfect. That's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah,
That's really smart.
And we didn't do that last year. I don't know why we didn't.
Well, that's something also to consider when you're talking about the length of time driving. You now are able to alternate drivers.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier.
Yeah.
Maybe
last year
could,
it was me for every freaking hour in that car.
I mean, again, it's doable,
driving.
but that's rough. That's
it was
hard.
rough. And this way, we've just added her. We have not added Keith as a driver. We've both agreed. We do agree on this. He will sit in the very back of the van with duct tape over his mouth and will just smile with his eyes as we drive. There will be no
speaking.
Because he's the only guy in the trip, because it's Grace, her friend Krista, Stella, Brenda, me, and Keith. Keith's the only guy. He's moving into the senior time of his life, and he's just going to the back, and he's retiring from his job this week.
Back of the bus.
Good for him.
Yeah. So,
well, I wonder. Your sister's so concerned about getting to the destination. If you're wanting to go to Little Rock, what about taking the time with her to pick out a destination in Little Rock, something that she can look forward to when you get there?
That would be a hotel. Maybe let her pick out the
Okay.
Right, because you're going to be getting there late at night.
Yeah,
and
so she
then
gets to
leaving
pick
in
the
the morning.
sleepy spot.
Okay.
Is
well,
what we
there
call
you go.
it. That's when you're on it. Too. I get to pick the sleepy spot.
So
okay,
she can pick the destination.
She gets to pick the hotel, maybe. Okay. So, so that's a 3-day, 2-night trip going up. Biggsville is going to have 4 or 5 nights, depending on the trip back, which we have not decided on this at all, which is scaring the crap out of me because we are so close to leaving.
Okay.
And I don't want to leave.
Is the reason why it hasn't been discussed because it's
no, it's been discussed.
Point of tension for the both of you?
It's been discussed. She wants Biggsville to Atlanta, 14 hours nonstop.
Oh.
She just wants to get back home.
Oh.
And she said, let the trip up be the fun.
And then just get the heck back.
Right?
Get out of there.
I'm going, well, I want the trip home to be the fun, too.
Well, okay. Again, I probably see things a little bit more from your sister's perspective. I tend to be that way as well. Like when the trip's done,
but the
done,
trip's
like,
not
I
done
want to
yet,
get
JL.
done.
The trip is still in progress.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
I still have money on my credit card where I can put it down for a couple more hotels, right?
Well, yes, I see what you're saying there. I tend to sympathize with your sister. However, 14 hours, that's a bit much.
And we've done it. That's just the driving portion. That's not the getting out of the car because Grace's bladder is the size of a pea. It's not any of that. It would end up being 18 hours. And I don't think I can't. We did it when the kids were little, but I can't do that now.
No, I don't think.
Here's what I want to do. I want to leave Biggsville, and I want to go to Cincinnati. I want to go in the total opposite direction.
Cool.
I don't know what's in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati chili, man. You can get some.
There we go.
Delicious chili.
So I've never been to Cincinnati. I've been to the airport, but I've never.
If you go to Cincinnati, you should also go across the river to Newport, Kentucky. You would really, really like Newport, Kentucky.
Is it down? Is it going to be on my way? Because from Cincinnati, I want to go through Lexington and Knoxville. Is it kind of in that general area?
It is literally. It's basically the same city as Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
It's right across the river.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. I want to go. And Cincinnati is a 7-hour drive from Biggsville. Everything's 7 hours from Biggsville. Biggsville is the center of the universe.
But it is.
Right?
Okay.
Any way you can go somewhere I want to go. So, but I've never been to Cincinnati. So Biggsville would be heading east through through all of Illinois, through all of Indiana, and then into Ohio.
But this Cincinnati is not on the way back to. I mean, like it's out of the way.
It's kind of a little elbow over, yeah.
But I highly recommend taking a different route coming back just to switch things up a little bit.
Yes, I don't want to do this. So she wants to come straight back down through Illinois and do that. So I'm thinking Cincinnati, and then from Cincinnati we come down through Lexington and Knoxville, and arrive in Atlanta. Drop her butt out. It's fun next year, and then. We spend the night there. And then from Atlanta, instead of coming straight down to Orlando, I want to go to Savannah. Let's take another way and then come down A1A.
See, I don't see
Florida.
any problem with that because at that point you won't have your sister and so you don't really need to be as concerned with her. I'm interested to see how that goes with the whole Cincinnati thing, whether you're going to actually be able to talk her into that, because like I said, I tend to have the mindset that she seems to have, and I still think that amount of time that she wants to drive is unreasonable, but I would probably not be as willing to go veer way off track.
And the difference is also we'd have to leave Biggsville earlier because she has to be back to work.
That's another count against you. That waking up early stuff. That's
I can't get up early?
You can. I know that I wouldn't want to.
I know. I just feel the clock ticking, and I want to do these road trips.
How are you going to sweeten the pot?
I mean, this might be the last one with Grace.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's 20. Get the heck out, right? Stella, I got a couple more years with her, but she's moving into the I don't speak to you, I'm a teen years.
Isn't it funny when you think of it's not funny, it's actually sad when you have children, and you think of it in terms like that. Margot's 15, and so thinking,
time's ticking, honey.
I might only have 3 more summer vacations with her.
If you're lucky. I don't want to bring you down, but
you're bringing me down.
And as it was, Max was going to fly up for the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he couldn't with work. Well, he chose to go to Europe, and I completely understand that one, too.
Yeah.
I completely understand that.
Yeah.
And, to fly him and Raven up would be about $800, and I realize that's not a whole lot of money, but it is.
It's something.
It is. It's a chunk of money, and time off work, you'd lose work.
Exactly.
So I don't know if that's going to happen, and I'm kind of bummed about that. But
okay.
But
you kind of won me over with that, because this is kind of a biggie, and you do need to make this one count.
You do.
Because
you don't know. You could.
You sold
pop
me
off tomorrow and be gone, right?
Well, it was when you brought in the topic of the kids, and this might be the last one. All right.
Because we've done
won
these
me
road
over.
trips,
Go to Cincinnati.
and this might be my last time to pop in the cassette. Well, it's not a cassette anymore.
The 8-track.
Pop in
that
of
8-track.
The Carpenters and Bobby Darin.
Roll that tape.
And and this is the first time, and I'm going to cry over this one, because even though my sister and I fight and everything, when we get in the car, it's like, okay, now we're going to sing, and we're going to. And we kind of team up against everybody behind us in the back seat.
Primarily the senior citizen with duct tape over his mouth.
Yeah. Well, he can sing along if it's the Beatles and Bring on the Bee Gees, and he's all on board in the middle of the night, but he's not driving. So
Brothers
if you're
Gibb.
not driving, you can't choose the music. So I want that time with my sister, too.
And I'm telling you, that Cincinnati chili is the chili of love. It really is. It is chili over a bed of spaghetti pasta and deliciousness. It is wonderful.
My.
Go to Cincinnati.
Every time I hear Cincinnati, I think of, what's her name? Was it Lonnie Anderson or something from...
WKRP in Cincinnati. Oh, gosh.
Sorry. That was random.
I don't want to see Lonnie.
Is there
Les Nessman out there.
Is there actually a radio station there you can go
turkeys
visit?
fall from the sky. I'm too old. You guys don't even get that. There was an episode. It was a Thanksgiving episode, and they were going to throw turkeys out of a helicopter or a plane as a promotion. Well, turkeys didn't fly, and they were just hitting the ground. And it was like the Hindenburg. He's like, I've got to go in there. I can't go in there. It was just, anyway. It was. It was hard. Anyway. Woo.
Can you go see WKRP? Is there a radio station? If you do, I want a picture.
Cincinnati, but I now know there's chili.
Well, I'm just wondering, how are you going to sweeten the pot for your sister? Because there's got to be something.
Chili's not going to do it for her.
There's got to be something in it for her.
I'll just tell her.
She gets to pick the sleepy spot again.
The sleepy spot.
You can go see a Reds game.
I might sweeten it for Keith. I don't know, but he don't matter because he's in the back seat of the truck too. I think it's going to have to be, we're getting old, Brenda. This might be our last road trip together. I might break a hip.
You're going to guilt.
You might break a hip.
You're going to guilt her into it. That's the strategy.
I'm going to guilt her into it.
Guilt her into it.
I will guilt her into it. You can't take your money with you, honey. Spend it. Right? And that's always been a contention with us. I'm the spendy one, even though I don't frivolously spend.
Right.
And she's the saver, She's got, money saved so she can live to be 300 years old.
Yeah, live your life.
Live your life, right? Mm-hmm. Live your life.
Seize the day.
He's retiring.
Cincinnati calls.
And I don't know what is in Lexington or Knoxville.
Horses.
Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Knoxville is cool. That's where the University of Tennessee is. And there's Knoxville is really close to, Pigeon Forge, and it's not that far away from Nashville. You get over a little further over in the state. But it's got the whole...
Because we'll probably go over to Nashville and then come down is what we'll do.
Yeah, I think Knoxville would be fun to...
I like Kentucky. The times I've been through it enough, but I've not stopped.
There's Fort Knox.
Fort Knox? Yeah. Where is Mammoth Caves? That's somewhere up in there.
You got me.
Right? One time as a child or somewhere we did that where we
should go see some caverns or something.
Caverns, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mark Twain's Cave.
The University of Tennessee has a department where they it's basically like a CSI department where they bury a bunch of dead bodies and then they look at what the decay of the dead bodies looks like to forensic science.
Can we go see that?
No.
That would just interest Stella.
I guess that's true. I just got so disturbed right now.
They study what happens when a human body is left in a trash can, basically.
And what would be the reason for this study?
For forensic science, CSI kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
That would be fun. Summer vacation.
What I've always wanted to do on vacation.
Red, white, and blue and bodies. Our 4th of July trip.
Good old America.
Going to the forensic study. America. Don't you love it, though? I wish someone had posted on my Facebook wall about the ultimate road trip. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was a total map of the United States, and basically it looks like they'd hit every state on this. I'm like, well, that would be awesome, but you can't do that in 2 weeks.
No. You got to take that one in pieces.
I had almost, at one point, I thought if Brenda wins out and we come straight down to Atlanta in that Mecca trip, then I'm thinking maybe after I leave Atlanta, instead of going over to Savannah, I head over to the Panhandle and Mobile and come this way. Yes. I've never done that before.
The Panhandle is beautiful.
I've never done that.
I know that you're not a beach person, but the beaches there are gorgeous.
Yeah?
The sand over there is just like sugar. I remember it from when I was a teen, and it just had such an impact on me. That's where my one day of surfing happened in the Panhandle.
Wow.
Never been.
Yep.
Never been surfing or never been to
Panama City, Florida.
I hadn't either.
Panama City, Florida.
Panama City.
Mm-hmm. Spring break.
Yeah, that's a spring. I wouldn't fit in there. Grace might like that, but...
I definitely recommend going to the Panhandle. It's gorgeous over there. Well, you got to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, we do.
You're going to have to come up with a strategy for approaching
We're
the
going
big
to do some Skyping or some FaceTiming either tonight or tomorrow, or this week, and we got to come up with some ideas.
I really hope that on your way back you end up taking a different route, and whether it's Cincinnati or wherever you end up, I hope you see something cool. Stop at some cool cities.
Something cool that we've not seen. Yeah, that's my.
Well, you got to come back with some stories for us too. You can't come back empty-handed.
Really,
exactly.
I sat in the car and.
And maybe you can meet somewhere in the middle. Maybe there is somewhere along that more basic route that your sister is projecting that there is maybe some place along the way to stop.
There are some things I haven't seen along the way, like the Jim Beam Distillery or whatever it was. No, it wasn't Jim Beam. What's the whiskey dude?
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels Distillery thing.
Much more famous than Jim Beam.
Jim Beam is it?
That's also whiskey.
Oh, okay. No, it's Jack Daniels.
There's always south of the border.
If you're going down I-95.
Oh, that's way up. That'll be way out of the way. Pedro's calling.
Poor Pedro.
Someday
Next
I'll
time,
there.
Pedro.
Pedro Corney, Michael.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be fun however we,
I'll be interested to see how it goes.
I will be too.
We're going to want those stories when you get back.
Well, I'll bring them with me. And we've got one more week before we leave. I'll give you a little quick update next week and let you know.
Tell us how things worked out with the big sis.
Yeah, the big sis.
Yeah. All right.
Big person who wants to take over my trip. She's been that way when I was a child. I can remember sharing a bedroom with her, and she'd just, I had one little tiny corner with my twin bed, and she had the rest of the room. It's just wrong. It's all wrong.
And how did that make you feel?
Made me feel mean and vindictive, and I think it shaped me into the person I am. I had to come forth with the humor and the sarcasm to survive the childhood I had.
And you are
living in a room with her.
seeking your revenge right here on this
I am.
show. this
Teresa, I have some
episode.
homework for you. I want you to write a list of grievances, everything that your sister's done to you, and I want you to bring it in
Write-
next week.
Okay,
Write
starting
a
with the
letter.
rubber band she put around my finger and told me my finger was going to fall off.
You need to go back and write a letter to little Teresa and tell her all the things that you that you
Little
know
T.
now that you wish that little Teresa had known back then, and then
Yeah.
we'll
I
share.
know some of those things right now. You know,
And,
Brenda didn't know everything.
All right, come on.
okay.
Thought she did, but it's because she's 8 years older. Okay, I got to stop.
Yeah,
I'm gonna not even
okay.
want to go on this trip with her.
Woo, okay, so we'll see you for another episode with more of Teresa's road trip updates and continued therapy.
Yeah, right. Whew,
So
this is draining.
stay tuned, and with that, we're going to say trip out. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. This week, what just happened?
Sorry. You were just so jovial there, it got me.
Trying to be upbeat. Get everyone psyched up.
I'm sorry. Hey, everybody. We're going to talk about freckles. Okay, go for
Raising
it.
the.
Sorry. God, it's the back pain. It's getting hang on.
At some point, we'll get through this episode.
Okay, I'm good. Hang on.
Hey, everybody. Teresa's gonna ruin every intro I try to
Sorry.
do here.